Well, we are expecting a great weekend to get outside and plant something. Taft Price talks with our garden expert for 2 News in the Garden.
Good morning. Welcome back to In the Garden. Paul and Taft here. And Paul, we are talking about a big event today and also next Saturday. It's called Harvest a Row. But before we talk about that, talk about Plant a Row that we had here several months ago.
Okay, back in late March, we had Plant a Row. And the idea there was to encourage backyard gardeners to get out. We gave away 7,000 tomatoes that Saturday to grow those foods and then come in for Harvest a Row, like you said, this Saturday and next Saturday, and bring your excess produce to benefit the Community Food Bank of Eastern Oklahoma.
And that's something the food bank really needs. They have a lot of canned foods, but it's that fresh produce a lot of times that they're lacking, and this is a way to really help them out.
The patrons of the food bank really need the fresh produce. I mean, they're grateful for all the canned goods, no question about it. But something fresh like this beautiful tomato here, that's what they need more of. So this Saturday from 10 to 12, we're going to have a tomato tasting event. We've got a dozen varieties developed by OSU that no one's ever tasted before. And we're going to have those out for people to sample. We're going to have a salsa contest. We've got several of the employees, and I tell you, there's a lot of trash talk already, that are making their own salsas, and we're going to have a little contest with those, a blind taste test. And then just get people to bring in this fresh produce.
And that's something that, again, the food bank really needs, but it's also a way where you can come out, you can get more ideas, they can come out, they can talk to you about some of the ideas, this fresh produce, and be able to taste test some of these tomatoes that have never been tasted before. Why does OSU come up with these different types of tomatoes?
Well, here in this area, we have one problem with tomatoes, and that, well, there's several, to be honest, but the biggest one is that when the heat comes on, they stop setting fruit. So these varieties are being developed, ideally, to set fruit even when temperatures are well into the 90s. And that's going to be huge if they're successful at doing this, because we'll be able to have a more continuous harvest.
So if they can't come out today, you have another round next weekend where you're going to be doing pesto as well. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect next weekend as well.
I'm going to be making a bunch of pestos. You always think of pesto as the basil with pine nuts and olive oil and all that. And I'm going to do that, but I'm going to also introduce some different pestos, which in Italian it just means paste. So it doesn't have to be the basil variety. There's more than one way to make a pesto, and I'll show you how next week.
All right, can't wait for that. And again, a great event's going to be happening here at Southwood today from 10 to 12, and again next Saturday from 10 to 12. Come on out, try out some of the salsa, and see which best salsa you would like, and also try out some of these brand new tomatoes here at Southwood.
Mmm.